Remind me in a couple of minutes. I can do it now. I'll talk about it on Instagram as soon as I can figure out what the link to this live stream would be. Hey, there we are.
Hi, Ed. Hi, Craig. Hi, Breezy. And whoever else is in here. Oh, Willie. Hi, Willie.
Give me a minute, guys. I'm trying to share this on my Instagram. I am so inept at Instagram. I don't know how to do a live on Instagram.
Really? I had to show Justin how to do one.
Justin and I are like, we just barely know how to use YouTube. It's crazy. All right. Video. Hey guys, I'm on Brandon with BS Small Engines. Is that right? BS Small Engines, right?
Yeah, BS Small Engines.
There's a whole video about that. Anyway, I'm going to live stream. There'll be a link down in the description. Copy that link, paste it in your browser, and then watch me on this live stream. Sound good enough?
Yep.
Yay. But yeah, it's crazy, man, that Justin and I are like, we just barely know how to use YouTube. Just enough. There's all kinds of tricks and stuff that you could use it for. We're like, we talked about, you ever seen that movie Zoolander?
Yeah.
You know, when both of them go in there, they're like, the files are in the computer? That's me and Justin sitting there trying to figure it out.
That's okay. Until today, I was using Windows Movie Maker for my videos.
It worked, though.
It worked. I switched it up. I got Movie Studio. Thanks to Greg. He sent me a copy. Hi, Boneyard.
All right. Paste. That should work as long as people are smart enough to copy that and paste it into a browser.
Sometimes I don't know about people, though.
Man, I constantly have and I feel bad because every time somebody writes me a message about something, I try to respond, and you're like, if it's a mechanic question and I have enough information, I will stop. I'm like, hey, that sounds like this. But hey, I was driving down the road, my check engine light came on in my Chevy van. What do you think it is? That's not enough information for it. Yep. So I just have to ignore that. And that light is bright. My face is all red. I'm sorry.
Well, that webcam that I got is the way to go.
Man, I have this really nice camera. That Sony AX33. It's the one I shoot my YouTube videos with. And there's an HDMI output on it that I could link into my computer. But I tried to link it into the little Elgato device that I had, and there was this latency, and I could never figure out what was going on. So I researched it and figured out that the best way to get the output capture of an HDMI is a capture card into your tower.
Oh, yeah.
My tower is a micro ATX, and I have one slot, and it's for a graphics card.
So you can get the external one on Amazon. It's external.
I have the external one, and I can't get it to work right. Like I've tried using that camera, and it won't capture it. Like the video just won't come up. There's like some Sony codec problem or something.
I'm using the newest Logitech HD webcam. That's the $high one at Best Buy right now.
Oh, I need to pull this up to read the comments, huh?
Yeah, I keep forgetting to go over to the YouTube side because there's a delay in StreamYards.
Sorry, guys. I was sitting there looking at something else, like wondering how come there's nobody watching yet. There's no comments, and I was on the wrong thing. The pop out chat. Come over here. So one of the problems with my setup, because of the type of internet connection, I have to have OBS Studio. I have to have opened OBS Studio, change the exposure on my camera, and changed all the settings to really, really dim, and then a really, really freaking bright light behind all that to get the right bit rate. Because if I don't, it's really, really choppy for some reason.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. So I have to have this like ridiculously bright light in front of me. Hopefully I can block my eyes.
My other camera is like, oh, for some reason it's not hooked up. But my other camera is like that too. I actually got 3 cameras hooked up in this studio, what I call my studio. Then I'm using studio lights for my lighting back here.
Hang on, Brennan.
All right. Hi, Ace.
Okay.
So I got a message from my buddy Ray asking if I was live.
Nah, we recorded this earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Craig Durbin. It's kind of neat. I don't know what that's referencing, but
No telling, I wasn't paying attention to the live chat. I probably should have.
man, I was trying to get that 7.3 back together.
How's that going?
So the whole premise of that truck was to buy it and Chucky and I were going to rebuild the engine, rebuild the transmission, put it together, and then it was at Chucky's house. And then I never came over to do it. You know, it just went on for like, I don't know, probably a year. I didn't realize it was about a year. Hang on. Anyway, I didn't realize it had been a year. So at that point, we decided that he would just drop it off over here, and then I would fix it, sell it, pay his cut of the truck, and then be done with it. Well, that was been a long time ago. So I keep tearing this truck down a little bit by little bit, trying to fix the problems that it has. And every single time I do, there's just another part that I got to get, and another part that I got to get, and another part that I got to get. And like every single project that every other dude I've ever known has.
Yeah.
You know, you get 2 steps, 3 steps forward, then you have to wait, you know, for that. Oh, will you hand me those?
The whole thing?
Yeah, or that one. Yeah, or just leave those. I don't know. Yeah, that's plenty. Thank you.
I have one project, a little garden tractor that I've been on for the last 3 years and still haven't finished it.
I don't know what it is about personal projects, man. But it just, they always take longer.
Yep.
You know, if it's a paid job, especially if it's a customer job like field service work or something.
Oh yeah.
I leave at 4:00 in the morning and go out there and spend out there 18 hours to get it done. And then thinking, man, when I have the time, I don't invest that much time into my home projects. But if I'm paid, I will.
Yeah. That's one cool thing is about getting to work on other people's stuff, because you're able to work on stuff that you had never been able to afford. So you actually get to play on some high dollar stuff. Like I just fixed a couple years ago, I fixed the high dollar Kubota zero turn.
That's cool. What was wrong with it?
The plastic governor linkage thing popped off, bushing popped off. So it's stuck in full speed. And then it was just a tune-up. It belonged to the military. They had it sitting. They didn't give it a tune-up for like 3 years.
I think your audio is cutting out, bud. I don't know if that's on my end or...
Let me take my camera off of high def, because for some reason it slows down the live stream sometimes.
Hey guys, in the comments, I'm hearing Brandon, his audio is cutting out. Do y'all hear that, or is that just on my end? Craig Durbin says, sounds good on my end. We hear both perfectly. Yeah, it must be something on my end, bud.
I always worry about this this microphone going out. I just got it, and it was a cheaper one on Amazon on Black Friday. So I always worry about it not working.
Man, I was very, very fortunate. My microphone. I had a one of my subscribers, during one of my live streams, I was complaining about the microphone on this deal, and he goes, "Hey, what's your address?" I said, "Why? You know, I don't really give out my address that easily." He goes, "I want to send you a brand new microphone." I'm like, man, is it that bad? And he goes, "Yeah, kind of." And so about a week goes by, and I get this brand new Yeti Blue microphone.
And he didn't get you just a little snowball one. He actually got you the good one.
Yeah. And you know, my cousin has a film production company, and I was just over there, and we did a podcast together, and we were talking about this microphone. Now he's been through, I mean, extremely high-end mics from the cheapest mics to high-end mics, from the cheapest video equipment to the most expensive video equipment. And we were talking about this Yeti Blue microphone, and he goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "It's the most amazing microphone for that price that I've ever heard." He goes, "You can do podcasts, you can do audio books, you can do audio voiceovers." He goes, "It's a fantastic, you know, it is the best USB powered microphone on the market." And he goes, "And I would use it before I would use, you know, powered mics, you know, on a lot of stuff."
Yeah.
So it's just crazy, like how much fantastic equipment you can get for a relatively low price for the consumers.
Yeah.
I mean, normally, you know, a good sounding microphone is $1,500, $2,000.
Yeah, I noticed, talking about stuff going down, I noticed that you can get like a hobbyist plasma table now, cheaper than what you used to be able to find a plasma table. Now I want one. I don't know why, but I want one.
Man, I passed up this deal right over there in your neck of the woods. It's it's on Facebook Marketplace, and it just says Buggy. And so it's somebody hand built this little, I don't know, it's got these like squared off little fenders. It's just a one of a kind little kind of a tank of a car, and it has a little Volkswagen engine in it in the back.
Oh, wow.
The motor is sitting on the ground, and it was asking like $200 for it. So I wrote him and I said, "Hey, I'll trade you the scan tool, you know, this extra scan tool that I have." And he said, "Yeah, go ahead." Well, then I'd have to run over there with a trailer and then go pick it up. But Justin needed his trailer, so I was trailerless. And so I never went over there and got it. But that little military engine that I have is an exact bolt pattern to a Volkswagen, so it would just bolt right into that little project and fire it up.
There is a buggy frame right now with the Volkswagen rear end at a local auction. I can't wait to see what it goes for.
I wonder if that was it.
This one don't end until next week. It's pretty cool. I thought about bidding on it, but I got like way too many projects out here.
That's the way I am, man. I have every single thing that I need, I think, to put the Dodge back together, the transmission. And I just got the last part. There was one sponsor that was very, very delayed in getting that part out. And it was understandable in the delay and everything, but it just took a while. So I finally got that component and now I can assemble it. But I'm like, well, I need to get that 7.3 back together before I get into that Dodge. Because if I go start putting that thing, the thing back in the Dodge and then I run out, then back on the 7.3, I'm like, gosh, man.
Yeah, that's what it's like when you have too many projects. You don't know
too many projects, yeah. First. Because you have to do that balancing act, how much of your time, and like today I could have worked on that 7.3 again, but I went down this rabbit hole of my service truck because I went out there, opened it, and something didn't work right. So I pulled everything out of the drawer and I was like, well, now it's time to organize it and clean it. But oh, well, in my opinion, as long as you just spend that time outside doing something, you're accomplishing so much. It doesn't matter what you did. So if you didn't get that project finished, at least you got something, some kind of progress made.
Yeah, I got 3 projects that needs to be done this winter, which ain't really projects. My mom's Explorer, the spark plug, one of the spark plug hoses is still stripped out. Spark plug's in there, but it has a miss, so I need to pull it out and put the helicoil in there. My dad's Ranger needs a radiator, and my tractor, of course, we plant a garden here early in Texas, so I need my tractor up by February, and the exhaust is broken, the hydraulic is still down, so.
Never ending.
Yep.
Hey, Old School Repair Shop's here.
Yep, he's been coming to all my live streams here lately.
But he's a great subscriber, man.
Yeah.
Craig wanted to know, so Steven, I'd like to know if Chucky ever finished putting that Pathfinder back together. He did finish it. I did go over there, and I think we had to replace the slave cylinder, master cylinder again. If I remember right, I think he had cheaped out because there's 2 different setups in that car. There's a complete unit that's bench bled from the factory, and then there's one where it's in 2 components, so you can bleed it yourself. And he had gotten the 2 components because it was cheaper. I figured he could bleed it himself. And sometimes that setup is a freaking nightmare. You just can't get it bled for whatever reason. You got to keep taking it apart and doing little tricks to try to get it to bleed. So like on a Ford 7.3 with that clutch assembly, it's just easier and cheaper just to buy the whole damn thing at once, including the reservoir, and just replace all of it. So we replaced all of it in that Pathfinder, and then if I remember, I got it working, and he immediately turned around and sold it. Or no, I don't think he sold it. I think he traded it for something or gave it. I don't remember what he did with it. He might have scrapped it. I just know it's not at his house anymore. And I normally, just so y'all know, I don't normally answer questions about Chucky. I know, Craig Durbin's been a subscriber for a while, but I figured I would say something about it because I knew somebody would ask at some point. But
yeah,
I get questions every single day, like, "Hey, blah 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 blah. What do you think about this to Chucky? Hey, blah blah blah, Chucky. Hey," and it gets to the point I just don't want to respond about it. Chucky's a very private guy. He doesn't want me talking about his private life to anybody, let alone somebody in written form.
Yeah, that always got on my nerves. I know it's your live stream, but some of those people that just come in there and just troll your streams with nothing but comments about Chucky.
Some of it's trolling. I enjoy a good troll job if that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like if somebody's set out just to actually like that's the point, then I can usually figure it out. And then that's okay. I get it. That's internet live. Some people, you know, have fun doing that. But it's the people that really have their feelings hurt about that stuff that question me. Because I get some messages. I'm like, man, I didn't. Sorry. I'm sorry that particular repair did not fix the problem on your vehicle, but vehicles are complicated.
We got to get Justin to do a live stream because I've been getting comments asking about him.
Yeah. No, Craig, don't apologize, man. I know who you are. That's why I answered.
So I already got my plans to go to the swap meet this year. I'll be going Friday and Saturday this year.
Which swap meet?
The swap meet at the Texas Motorsports.
Oh, the Pate swap meet?
Yeah.
Did you ever go to that Pate Museum?
Mm-mm.
You never did?
Nope.
Oh, man, it was amazing. I don't know the whole history of Old Man Pate, but the guy that owned it, it was off 377 in between Benbrook and what we call Whiskey Flat. Oh, sorry guys. Between Whiskey Flats and Granbury.
Yeah, I don't get up that way much often. Usually Fort Worth, Hico. I got a buddy in Hico, and then a buddy in Godley, Texas. I go there quite often.
Yeah, but so anyway, Old Man Pate owned this property right there, and he had this little museum called the Pate Museum, and he would have a swap meet there originally. And so the museum, he had all of these antique airplanes. That's fine. He had a couple like old World War I, World War II, like tank or World War II tanks, all this like crazy old airplane stuff. I think he had one of the lunar capsules or a mock-up of a lunar capsule.
Yeah.
And so you come up and you pay $4, you walk in, and it was amazing because he would actually let you put your hands on the stuff. And I remember as a kid getting in that capsule and actually getting to grab the knobs and stuff, and it looked real to me as a kid. But I had a fantastic time.
Yeah, that's real cool because not many museums will let you do that.
Yeah, and then that swap meet, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. And he had to get a new venue, and then they moved it to the Texas Motor Speedway. But then the old man passed away. As soon as he passed away, man, they chopped up all that stuff in that museum, scrapped it all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Divvied up that land. All that land's either leased out or sold or whatever. But, you know, oh well. Just because you're really passionate about something doesn't mean your kids are going to be passionate about it too.
But you know what? One thing I learned about that swap meet, and I really should do it sometime. There's a lot of stuff. I find a lot of cool stuff there, but there's a lot of stuff there that I have that I usually ends up in the scrapyard. I keep thinking I should save up and just take a whole trailer load one year.
Man, I've got to get me a freaking trailer. I don't have a trailer at all.
That company that made mine, there should be a dealer near UCM. My trailer, 16-foot with taxes, tags, and everything, was $1,300 for a 16-foot trailer new.
How much does it haul?
Huh?
3,500 pound axles?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes me hesitate, because I figure if I'm going to spend the money on a trailer, my goal is to go find really cheap pieces of equipment, and then find a cheap excavator or something like that, and have a trailer heavy duty enough to haul a small piece of equipment back to my shop, rebuild it, and then turn around and flip it or whatever. So in my head, I'm like, I should go ahead and get something with like 7,000 pound axles. So at least I can go haul something that's 14,000 pounds, which would be a small bulldozer, a small excavator, skid steers, tractors, things like that. And
yeah, I've been wanting a car hauler too. My length of my trailer is fine.
Mhm.
It's just not wide enough for some things. I've been wanting to buy bigger tractors.
It always ends up being bigger.
Yeah.
Need a little bigger truck to pull a little bigger trailer to pull a little bigger tractor.
Oh, well, I got to buy a full-size truck. We had a Dodge truck here. My sister bought it. It was jacked up. Had so many problems. Put a new transmission in there. Fixed countless leaks. And it just still kept leaking. And we just got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got to get another one. It's not wise to pull that trailer with the Ford Ranger. I've done it before in town, but it's not wise.
Man, I had a 1996 Mazda B4000, which is basically a Ford Ranger.
Yep.
And it has a 4-liter V6 in it. And when I was a teenager, man, I think I was 16 or 17. And I romped on that truck like it was a hot rod all the time, all over the place. Towed trailers with it. Towed cars, on a trailer, like not big, huge cars, but probably 4,000 pound vehicles on it. And never had a problem out of that transmission or that engine.
Stacy, not everybody has a semi and a F450. The Rangers and those Mazda trucks are awesome. It's just they're a little small.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad drives a tow truck all the time, so it hardly ever gets used.
I eventually want to build a tow truck.
Yeah, tow trucks are building one would be pretty cool. People always ask my dad, "Why don't you start your own company? You've been at it for 30 years." Well, there's so many laws in Texas and regulations that it's hard to start a company in Texas unless you have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, that's why you see those trucks running around. It says not for hire.
Yep. Oh, they even got on them that those guys have to have a TDLR license to haul their own personal stuff if it's with a tow truck.
Yeah, I know. There was a big debate when I forgot what company I was working for. It was one of the natural gas compression companies, that if you needed to have a CDL to operate the truck as a mechanic, because you sort of fit the bill of a professional driver, and a lot of our trucks were, I think the average crane truck is 16,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I always had a 150, 200 gallon tank of water on the back, and antifreeze tank and oil tank and all kinds of stuff. So they ended up topping out like 27,000 pounds. But the way you operated, it was all day, every day, and because of the mileage and everything. So anyway, and I know in Texas, they cracked down on that CDL stuff to where you have to, I think pretty much, unless you've got a pickup pulling a horse trailer, you're going to be expected to have a CDL if it's for work or for company.
Yeah, I'm amazed. My dad's been doing it for 30 years and don't have a CDL. He just has a CDLR. But I'm sure that Texas is eventually going to make it. Even light duty tow trucks are going to have a CDL.
It's coming, man. It's at people can. I mean, we can try to vote it down, but it seems to be progressing in that way. Like I was out there using that. You seen that CRC smart washer?
Yeah, the thing's awesome.
So I have one here, And if you let it operate correctly, which means plug it in, leave it plugged in, and don't ever unplug it, so it always stays warm, works pretty well. And I was thinking about that today when I was out there cleaning parts up in it. And it's like, well, does solvent work better? Yeah. Extreme solvents do work really, really well, do work better if you want to put up with the solvents. But they get dirty, they don't clean themselves, and then you have to, pay like Safety Clean to come out and then dispose of your solvent, or you're supposed to, instead of polluting. Or you've got this, like a smart washer that if you spill it all over the ground, it's not that big of a deal. The EPA is not going to freak out on you, as opposed to they would if you had 15 gallons of solvent that you spilled. But so it's kind of a necessary evil, because that's the way it's going, is like biodegradable stuff like that anyway. So you can fight it all you want, but it's like that emission stuff on diesel trucks we were talking about earlier with the F-350s.
Yep.
I mean, that's the same deal. Like, guys can fight it all they want, but it's getting to the point where if you have a newer diesel truck and you delete that particulate filter and that DEF setup on it, even in programming or anything, it's not on that truck and functional, and they catch you, you are stuck with that truck, because they're going to fine you and tell you that in order to get that truck back, you have to sign an agreement that you can never sell that truck.
Yeah.
It can never be a for on-road use truck. It can never be on the road ever again. To get that truck back. And it's like, well, that's not worth it for me. Not for an $80,000-$90,000 truck.
Yeah. It also hurts a lot of owner operators, like Twisted R in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to retire. He's on his last run as an over-the-road driver.
Yeah.
And his newer truck has been in the shop like a bunch of times in the past little bit, and it comes down to the EPA crap on it.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody's sending me a message. Yeah, that whole emissions deal, man, you can fight it all you want. It's one thing my dad taught me. My dad was a hippie / redneck, I guess. And anyway, he said, you can fight the government all you want, but if they want you to do something, eventually, like, they're going to win.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it is, because they have an unlimited amount of money and an unlimited amount of manpower and man hours to sit around and just try to think of ways to get what they want. I was like, and there's no limit what they'll spend to try to figure out, if you broke a law or whatever. It doesn't matter.
And the crazy part is, it's nothing to do with the environment. It's the lobbyists for those corporations, like those gas cans that make a switch to. You get more gas in the grounds than in the equipment that you're putting it into.
I mean, there is some nasty stuff that comes out of diesels.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that there's no confusion about it. A newer Ford 6.7 or the newer diesels get tremendously more miles per gallon. They're much more efficient than a Ford, 7.3, 6.0 or anything. And the emissions that come out of the tailpipe are far, far less, like nitric oxide, coming out. Particulate matter is far less than what it does in the older diesels. And that's the point. And to me, we do need to progress in that direction, but the DEF and the constant failures of the particulate is not worth the end game, because the infrastructure needed to construct all that, DEF cleaning services, mechanic hour laborers, parts and everything. It doesn't negate, all of that took environmental stuff to build and do. So it doesn't equal out. So we just need to figure out a better way to do it. But I'm not smart enough to figure that one out.
And like those guys that do all that delete stuff, let's face it, the reason they're cracking down on them is that roll and co stuff that everybody thinks is cool.
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if I have a truck and I've got a setting on it where I can roll coal for a YouTube video and not get in trouble. I got a drag strip or something or a closed
Yeah.
place. You know, I'll do it occasionally, but going to Walmart to get groceries and rolling coal to get there and going to drop the kids off at school and rolling coal to get there. Yeah, that means you just, you don't know how to tune your truck and you put something's way off. Your injectors are too big or something.
But you get these young guys that think it's cool, but it's also the same guys that only put half a lift on their truck, so it's set in like this.
Yeah, I kind of understand that too. I always wanted a lift kit when I was younger. Couldn't afford the nice lift kit, so the only option I had was just blocks. So screw it, did it. Those tires fit, man.
After having a lifted truck like the Dodge we had,
Mm-hmm.
what I discovered is I didn't like them because when you use them for work, it's hard to back up trailers and those
Yes.
wide tires. That noise gets on your nerves after a while on the road.
Yep. Excuse me.
A truck,
my service truck. I've had people tell me, it's like, hey man, you should put like a 3-inch lift on that and put some 35s on it and lift it, make it aggressive. And it's like, man, the upper toolbox on the front of that toolbox is already, I already have to lift my arms up like that to reach stuff out of it. It's like, I don't want to have to get a little step ladder to get into the truck because it looks cool. I was like, no, it's like that truck's high enough. And like you said, backing up a trailer.
yeah.
One of the companies that I did work for down in San Antonio, I was talking to the owner and he had this 2018 F-350 King Ranch. It was a nice, beautiful truck. And he would use it for gooseneck trailers. And so he put the 6-inch lift on it and like 37-inch tires and then used it for a week and came back and took all of it off.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I didn't realize how, much of a pain in the butt it would be to get underneath the gooseneck. Like, well,
the only time I didn't like them was at the diesel shop because getting under there to change oils and the filters and stuff. That didn't make it easier because you could just sit down under it.
Yeah. Yeah, that does. I mean, it makes it easier, but for a service truck, for an actual service truck that somebody's going to use every single day. If I see them I see the ones on Instagram and I see the ones the guys send me that were at SEMA and they're like, hey, check this out. And they're beautiful trucks, man. I mean, they're just immaculate. You can't use that truck every day.
Nope.
You can't. You'll be worried about everything you do. I mean, every single little, tool, you'll be worried about scratching stuff. And that's a show truck. So that's somebody's, example of this is how much, how good I can build a truck, basically. And that's not sustainable as an actual service tech.
That's the reason I won't paint my tractor up because I still want to use it as a tractor.
That's why I can beat on that green truck.
Yeah.
I can beat the holy hell out of that bumper and use it as an anvil.
Yeah.
I don't care. Gets the job done.
You should see my uncle's. Well, it's my grandma's F-250. When my cousin learned to drive, after she got a driver's license, she was headed to the prom. She took out a post by an ATM, so the whole bed is like squished in. It's been like that for like the last 6 years. Hi, Justin.
Did I lose the audio again? What's going on here? I can't hear anything. Last thing I heard was, hey, Justin.
Oh, I ain't said nothing after that.
Oh. I thought I lost my audio, man. I started checking. I was like, man, is it this connection? Is it that connection? You were just that quiet.
After that, so I figured I wouldn't. Well, that was actually probably a good time to actually say something.
Oops. I guess I can get caught up on the comments. Lowrider service trucks are going to be the next fad anyway. Maybe, and I really like I like looking at the show trucks, the show service trucks, because that's kind of like an inspiration, whatever. And at SEMA and the things that people send me like that, I appreciate good work and the amount of labor and everything that went into those. But like I was making a video today, I was working on my green service truck. I pulled everything out of the boxes because the boxes were disgusting. And the problem is I really didn't have a good way to clean them out. And so now that I've got that smart washer, I've got a way to clean everything in that box. So I've been cleaning freaking everything with it. But I was talking about in the last of that video is like, guys, every time I put up one of these service truck videos, everybody floods me with, hey, check out this organizer, check out this way, check out this guy's service, this SEMA service truck that's got all these amazing brackets and everything. And it's like, well, guys, realize how much money that stuff costs. So I could spend my money on that and have that truck highly organized. But in my head, when I've got $1,000 extra that I can spend on tools or on service truck or whatever, I could spend $1,000 organizing all the tools on that service truck.
Yeah.
Or I could take that $1,000 and spend, $800 on some diagnostic, compression gauges or some hydraulic tools or something that I can use, a lot more often. And so that's always my motivation with that service truck. So guys send me some amazing products, but my reply is always like, yeah, but that thing's $1,400, man. And that service truck works. So yeah, it's doing everything that truck needs to do for me. It's completing its task, and it's been fine. So I'll just stick with it. Gets horrible fuel mileage, but
yeah, I think as soon as I get another full size truck in here, I'm going to do a service bed on it. We talked about it once before on my grandma's F-250. Me and my uncle was doing a lot of service calls when he was laid off.
Mm-hmm. So you can get service beds cheap if you really watch it.
Yeah. There was one at the time up your way for $250.
Yeah.
And it would have fit on there. On that.
And they're invaluable, man. If you work with your hands for a living, you do work for people a lot. That's one of my follies, I guess, is I go do work for people a bunch instead of working on my own stuff. But when you do that, you got to take your tools with you, so that having that service bed is invaluable.
Yep.
It's also a huge liability too, though. Got your livelihood sitting in that thing.
Yeah.
Service trucks get stolen all the time.
It's like every time I have to put my trailer, I park it outside the gate at night, I always worry about my trailer getting stolen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I knew a guy when I was younger, before I met my wife. That's what his profession was for a while, was going around and stealing trailers and reselling them.
Yeah, well, it's easy. You can go get a waste slip and get a homemade title tag. It's still that easy. I do it all the time on trailers, used trailers that I get if they don't have a title.
What's crazy is he did this trailer scheme for about 6-7 months, and I don't know how much money he made. It must have been a fortune. But he got caught. And the night he got caught, or the day after, they charged him with like 22 felony charges of theft because it was 22 trailers, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, holy crap, man, he's going to be serving time forever. But turns out the legal system, they won't charge you with 22. They'll just charge you with one. And they'll drop it down to one charge. If you'll plead once that's, one felony or whatever, like you can plea bargain to the deal. And if you'll take that, then they'll drop all those other ones. So he kind of skated on the deal, but legal system works in favor for some and not in favor for the others.
It still sucks. It still hurts your life, though, once you get a felony.
You're telling me, man. So we moved from a city called Utopia that was about 70 miles west of San Antonio, Texas. Me and my family, and we moved here to Stephenville. Well, the school here in Stephenville has this program called Watchdogs, where they're encouraging dads to come up to the school and spend the day at the school with their kids. And so you go to your son's class for an hour to help out. You read, they schedule stuff for you to do, like read a book to the kids, play this game with the kids. And then you move on to the next classroom and kind of share your time equally around the school. So it sounded really cool. Both my sons wanted me to do it. So I did it last year. It was awesome. I had a fantastic time in both grades. Well, coming up this year, and I applied for it. Usually I do it on my son's birthdays, and I missed my son's birthday in October, but my son's birthday in December. I said, oh man, I got to hit that. So I sent in the application, and they denied the application. So I was like, what the heck? That must be a mistake. I don't have a felony on my record or anything. So I contact them and go out meeting with them and everything. Well, they changed the actual definition of what their consideration of a felony is. So if you've ever been charged with a felony at all, doesn't matter what happened after that, if it was dismissed, if it was deferred adjudicated, if you plea bargain to another deal or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you were ever charged with one, even if you're found not guilty for it, you were charged, you can no longer volunteer at the school.
Oh, wow.
And so I fit that bill because like in 2005, I was charged with a felony evading arrest on this crotch rocket motorcycle that I had. Now I was guilty. I just ran from the cops. There's no, I wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nothing like that, man. I mean, I was stupid. And so I booked it, got arrested, spent 3 days in jail. And my penalty for that was 3 years of probation, having to pay probation fees every month, having to do urine analysis every single month. That's when I was like 23, 24, and I was young and stupid. Well, since then, so my agreement with the state or the city and the state was I would complete that and then it would just be a Class B misdemeanor, right? So I did that. Now on my record, it's a Class B misdemeanor. But if you pay for the advanced version of my record, it'll say I was charged with that. It was deferred adjudicated to a Class B misdemeanor. So because of that, I can't go to the watchdogs program, but yeah, those felonies, they stick with you.
I must have the most boring life because I've never been in trouble with the law. Well, I can't say that. When I was younger, we lived in a trailer park. I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There was this kid that kept messing around. So we went to his house. We stole his bicycles, threw them in the trash at the community trash can at the trailer park and egged his house. So the cops did come, but I never got charged with anything.
Just mischievousness. Boys do that stuff.
And I never got much into drinking. I'll drink a beer every now and then with someone, but
yeah,
never been much of a drinker.
Dude, I haven't drank in a long time. A buddy of mine got me these Helicellas.
Yeah.
So occasionally, I don't really like drinking that much, but occasionally, like on a Saturday, usually it's only on Saturdays for some reason, but I'll drink 2 or 3 of them. They're pretty good. They're kind of like a spicy beer.
For some reason, the reason I don't drink much beer, I have stomach issues. It hurts me bad when I drink a beer. I'll drink a shot of whiskey or something every now and then with somebody, but I don't drink too much beer.
It's funny about whiskey and straight liquors like that. If somebody has a good whiskey, I do want to try it and everything. And I can stomach anything. I can sit there and go, that's pretty good. And fake it 100%. But man, inside I'm thinking like, oh my God, it tastes terrible, man. Get me a margarita or something.
Yeah. Yeah, like the last live stream I had, I was drinking vodka and pineapple juice.
I want to answer a couple of comments. So Craig Durbin, no, I cannot have it expunged, believe it or not, because that county, they have an ordinance or whatever. The lawyer told me that they do not expunge records in that particular county that I got the charge in. So it will never happen. The lawyer told me he would gladly take my money. It would cost I think $5,000 10 years ago. I said he would file it and he would guarantee me it would get shot down. That particular court system does not expunge
Craig can
anything.
take care of that.
Yeah. Yoda, Doug's Tool Collection channel. So, Steven, do you believe Blue ISIS and the Blue Line Mafia is a real thing? I have no idea what either one of those are. But yeah, the whole drinking deal, like I just don't enjoy the flavor of alcohol after I've had, one too many. I don't enjoy the feeling. But I will drink 2 or 3 occasionally.
I don't like the feeling tequila gives me, so I won't drink. I don't handle
tequila's
that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I want to meet, when I die, go to heaven. If the guy that invented tequila is there, I want to meet that guy, because I want to know what kind of individual goes out to their shed, starts making some tequila, some kind of, doesn't even know what a tequila is at the time, just starts, hodgepodging something together and trying to make some kind of alcohol out of it, and decides, okay, let's drink it. Drinks it, tastes that, and goes, that's pretty good. Because it tastes like goat vomit. It's like, what the heck was wrong with people to have tasted that and been like, yeah, this is awesome.
That, and I cannot stand the taste of spiced rum. I'm not a fan of spiced rum. I'll drink regular rum, but I will not drink spiced rum.
I don't really enjoy the flavor of most liquors, like in margaritas or something, when it's masked with some like sugar and sour or something. I can tolerate those and I'll have 1 or 2, but other than that I can taste the alcohol in my throat. I don't like it. Can ask Justin. Justin's been traveling all over the place with me. I think he's seen me drunk maybe twice. It's rare. I mean, I do drink, but just occasionally.
Yeah, I must be boring to Justin because I'll never drink with him. Well, I'll drink a beer with him, but that's it.
Now, dude, that's the thing about Justin. Nobody is boring to Justin.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't care who you are, who you think you are at your heart or whatever. Justin is fascinated by you, man. And he's just like proud to know you. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I'm just 100% like, he is proud to know you as a person, Brandon. So no, he's not judging you.
I can't understand it. I know they're all trolls, but everybody, I've met a lot of people that likes to talk trash about you two, but I actually met you two in person. And everything that they're saying, I can tell everybody in the stream right now, everything that y'all, especially the trolls that's watching, y'all say about Steven and Justin is untrue. Unless you meet them in person, y'all can't talk.
Oh, I guess people are deleting them, or I'm not reading the comments, dude. That's the thing about
there was one troll, but that I got so many mods in here. They take care of it. I don't care.
Here's the deal about social media, and this is what confuses me about people that are on social media that can't handle that kind of stuff. If you put anything out there at all that people are going to watch, you have to accept the fact that people are not going to like it. People are going to make comments. You are seriously going to offend somebody about something. They're not going, and it's what happens. That's what people do. And so when people come up, I look at it like YouTube's algorithm looks at it. If you watch my videos and you thumbs down every one of my videos, the algorithm doesn't care that you did thumbs up, thumbs down, you left a good comment, you left a bad comment. None of that. The only thing it cares about is you just created impressions that the algorithm counted and sold that to advertisers.
Yeah.
And that's what you did. So by the negative comments, that comes with the territory and everything, and everybody can voice their own opinion about what they think of me. All that stuff. It's fine. It just comes with the territory. You're helping me out in the long run.
Yeah.
So you spend the time to inbox everything. That's cool. Do it, man. And dude, I've been on the internet since 1996 or something like that. I've been well versed in trolls and forums and stuff, and the worst of the worst. So
I remember going from AOL chat to MSN chat to Yahoo chat.
Yeah. I guess AOL was the first one that we did too. AOL with the E machine. How old are you, Brandon?
27.
Oh my gosh. I'm 10, 11 years older than you.
Yeah, I'm usually the
Because, I
young
mean,
one.
squat. It's one of the things that always irks me when you're talking to somebody in person and you're trying to debate, a problem with a vehicle or whatever, or another mechanic or whatever it is. And they're trying to explain to you that they know what they're talking about because they've been doing this for X amount of years, or they have X amount of certifications and you don't. So that makes them correct because they have more stuff than you. It's one of my pet peeves of all times. Like, no, either you know that you can explain the exact issue with that system and why that person is wrong about that issue, or you can't. And if you can't, don't tout your age or whatever. What's up, dude? Hey, I've got to go use the restroom real quick, Brandon. I'll be right back, okay?
All right. Yeah, Yoda Doug, I had one like that too. Thanks, Ed. I remember on Yahoo Chat used to create bots and software to boot people for the heck of it, just for the fun. Used to do that a lot back in the day. Now that I think back, I'm like, oh man, that's really messed up. But yeah, we used to do that a lot in the Yahoo Chat back in the day. I think my first live or my first social media was MySpace. Oh, and do y'all remember before YouTube videos? Actually, used to post a couple videos on there. What stupidvideos.com. I actually used to post a lot of videos back there on stupidvideo.com. That was before the YouTube trend. And then I did YouTube videos. I used to be a troll. This is true. Y'all heard it here first. Really, Horse? You can't stick around? You might learn something. You are taking an Eagle class. Yeah, I'll admit it straight up. The only reason I'll admit it is because I was smart enough to learn how to use those softwares to do it. Not many people is that. My hat keeps hitting the microphone, man. Not many people are smart enough to use that software. Sorry, guys. Still got that cough. course, I know you're there. I saw that you are getting a man bun. I read that comment. I read that you are getting a man bun. I read that comment. I will be waiting for the picture of that horse, the video on that.
Got me a snack. All right, Brandon, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Nope, budget. Me and Steven's friends.
Yeah, I got me a little snack. Pepperoni cheese sticks.
Oh, yeah. You know, I got a mini fridge in the studio. I really should fill it up with snacks and drinks, but I'll have it.
Mini fridges are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I used to have one in my shop.
Man, that was one thing I remember in that one diesel shop is we always had a cooler full of soda. And just him working, we would go through a case of soda. I know that ain't good on your body, but we go through a case of soda in the day.
Oh, yeah. When I worked for the city of Fort Worth, I worked at this one shop, and I used to drink those green monsters.
Yeah.
And I'd have 2 or 3 a day, every single day, religiously. And so I started buying them by the case at Sam's. And I would buy like 2 or 3 cases. So we had a refrigerator there, and I just filled up the bottom drawer with monsters and put a little tag on there. It says, please put $1.25 in this can.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just charging like I think it was $1.33 when you bought them by the case like that. And I was just charging them $1.25 because I didn't want them to have to round change. My thought was if they had 4 in them, bought 3, then or 4, whatever, then it would equal out to the roundabout. Anyway, that lasted for about 3-4 days before that crap was completely gone. Nobody put money in that deal.
Yep.
So yeah, those fridges and shops, they're great to have, but
yeah,
a bunch of damn scavengers.
Yoda Doug, we actually did meet through YouTube. Actually, I followed his streaming videos for a long time, but Mark, Homemade Everything, needed a reverse box for his go-kart, and I sent him one, and that's how we all got started talking. And then
oh yeah,
there,
the cancer cart,
yeah, which has a sticker on there, so it should win a race the next time.
Got you, man. I think we just didn't have the gearing and a jetting right.
Yeah.
We just needed a little more time to practice, play with it, and it would have whooped Matt's.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, because with the right gearing and stuff, that engine should. That thing should at least easily hit probably close to the 50 miles an hour because they're getting over 30 miles an hour out of those 212 little 212.
Yeah. You guys are talking about Rich V's anti-Stephen Cox videos. I don't know if any video he put up, at least I've never watched it. I don't search for my name on YouTube, so I can't tell you what's out there. But no, the whole Rich V deal is on the side of my green service truck used to be my phone number. It was just directly to my cell phone number when I had a company because I wanted people to directly contact me. Well, it doesn't work out too well in YouTube videos because anybody gets mad at you, they just call that phone number.
I do.
So Rich V called that phone number, and because it was out of state, I just didn't answer it. Figured if it was important, they'd leave a voicemail, which Rich V left me a voicemail. So in that video, that's his voicemail, and that's how I know of Rich V. Other than that, I can't tell you who the guy is, if he has a channel, if there's videos about me. Like I said, I don't know if there's any anti-Stephen Cox videos out there at all because I don't search YouTube for Stephen Cox or anti-Stephen Cox. Or I'm just fortunate for the people that watch my videos, you know?
Google your name?
No.
I'm afraid to. The last time I Googled my name, there was a guy with the same name, a kid that died of cancer. So that was too sad, so I never Googled my name again.
I have a while back, and I remember there's some artist named Stephen Cox also. Some kind of like, I think it's modern art or something like that. It's not what I appreciate as art, but nonetheless, whatever he does takes enough talent to get him recognized on Google. Or a bunch of different pages, whatnot. But other than that, I don't know of any other famous Stephen Coxes. There's probably one out there that I'm forgetting or something.
I can't believe how small my channel is. I go over to live stream and like a lot of people usually knows my name.
How many people are on a live stream right now?
Only 12, which is kind of a slow night. I don't know what's going on with these Saturday live streams. I've been getting more during the week than I have been on weekends.
I kind of like doing live stream because it's the only interaction that I have directly with the people who decide to click on that live stream and watch it.
Yeah.
Most people, I don't give them any comments on Facebook or Instagram. Most people will not go to the description and find the Facebook link or the Instagram link and click it. Like, it does not equal out at all.
It helps small channels like mine that's getting a little bit closer to 1,000. Not that I would make much money at it. Get the watch hours up.
Yeah.
Because it does add up a lot of watch hours. Especially when I went crazy and did a 5-hour stream one time. I paid for that the next day.
Dude, I've done some 3-hour streams, 3.5-hour streams, and I just deleted them.
Yeah.
And now I just delete my live streams anyway, because in the live streams, I can read the comments, but the second that I hit stop and YouTube does its publishing and everything, and it makes that video public, it just deletes all the comments. You can't read any live stream comments, and you can't leave any comments on the comments for that video. So, you know, in my opinion, what's the point? Like, you just sit there and watch me read comments, and I guess somebody would be interested in that. But from the analytics that I've gotten from those videos, they're not very popular at all. I mean, there's a select few, but
yeah,
even with a channel my size, I mean, if I did one of those videos, it'd be 1,200, which 1,200 would be a lot of views to some channels. But if you look at the ratio of what the normal amount of views are to that, so which a normal amount of views for you would be, you know, whatever it is, and then you take that to your abnormal amount of views for a live stream would be, you know, 2 or something. So anyway, I usually choose to delete them just because it's nobody can read the damn comments anyway.
Some streams I'll leave up. Well, actually, what I do with my streams is so I still get the watch time and stuff from them.
Yeah.
I delete them. I set them as private.
Yeah, I think I just delete mine. I can't ever think of a reason why I would need to come back to, you know, a live stream.
Horse, if you do that, you really do need to make a video. You was wondering what you should do videos on. People love to see your videos on woodworking.
On my videos?
No, Horse. Horse does. He's 17 years old and he does a lot of woodworking and stuff.
Yeah,
he's very talented,
dude. Any young guy, and by young guy I mean, let's call it 25 and younger. Any guy under that age, if you start off or you do something and you want to make YouTube videos about it, there's like going to be a cult following for young guys working with their hands like that. All us older guys, I really appreciate that. So we'll all subscribe to it and watch it, talk about it or whatever. And, you know, it's just, there's not enough young guys doing that. So becomes a really, really cult following. And I've talked to a bunch of young guys that have started dabbling in YouTube videos and kind of did it for a couple of videos and they didn't get 3 million views, and you know, they make 10 videos and they didn't get the 3 million views, and then they just stopped. I'm like, oh, YouTube's impossible or whatever. So, man, if you're a young guy and you do that stuff and you send messages out to these, older guys on channels and just say, hey, I'm trying to grow my channel. Here's my videos. What do you think? A lot of these guys will talk about your channel and help you out just because you're a young dude trying to make your way on YouTube.
Me and Justin actually had a whole conversation on this because I just started taking YouTube serious this year. I've had this channel for 3 years. I've only had 60 subscribers. And then I got serious. Now I have over 400, getting a little bit closer to 500.
Yeah.
And when you're small, you can't wait for people to come to you. You have to actually go find people.
No, the absolute only thing that matters, like even if you make a decision and you regret that decision after that, like it didn't pan out how you wanted it to for your YouTube video or your subscribers, the only thing that matters is that you put forth effort to try to do it. And that's it. That's all you can control. Because my only level of success I've done on YouTube is just because I was willing to try to do it. And that's it.
Then every now and then you get lucky and you get a video with millions of views.
Yeah, you just luck out. There's people can pretend like they know all about YouTube, and you can watch the professionals or whatever, and you can use every single thing the professionals tell you to do as far as every aspect of the video and thumbnail and title and everything, and you're not going to make it. Because even the experts don't know exactly what makes successful stuff on YouTube. So just do the best you can.
Yeah. I don't think it does, Budget Tools. I think my live streams actually help me grow my channel.
To me, it depends on the frequency that you do them. If you constantly do live streams,
I do get carried away sometimes.
You'll develop viewers that appreciate you and like you because you do a lot of live streams. So that's the people you're trying to reach, is the ones that would enjoy watching a bunch of live streams. So that's the only deal, is you can't do one or the other. So you have to do a lot of live streams or sporadic live streams or no live streams.
I'm trying to cut back and do like a daily blog and try to keep my live streams more of a minimum, so I have more to talk about in live streams.
Yeah. I think that's what I want to start doing, because a lot of times I get hung up on YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because I want a video to be a project. I want to excuse me, beer burps. I want to start a video and be, alternator replacement on a Ford 7.3. And in a 12-minute video, that be the entire video. But what I run into is like rebuilding this turbo video. Well, I rebuild a turbo and then I need parts. So I have to wait, until I have a budget for those parts for that build. And that video footage just gets stuck on my computer for a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. So now I think I want to kind of get into, just kind of filming what I did that day on whatever project. Doesn't matter. Just filming the things that I do instead of one particular project, because, man, I cannot keep track of how many gigabytes of footage I have just waiting for the project to finish.
Yeah.
Budget Tools. We had a whole conversation about, I don't know if you were on this live stream then or not, about deleting trucks. Y'all will never see me delete a truck on a YouTube video. It'll never happen. I won't do it.
That would be like me trying to do a governor delete video. I mean, probably should. One of these days I'll do one, but I'll show how to do it safely, because there's a lot of these guys on here that's doing it on these small engines, but they're not upgrading the rod, the flywheel.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Quick.
Yeah, they're just trying to max it out.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if that's an emissions or an EPA regulation, though, that governor. It's just a safety deal, right?
Yeah, it's just a safety deal.
Yeah, so the scare and the worry about the car community, or specifically the diesel community, is the scare of the government, the EPA. And that's just what you don't want, is if I make a video deleting something on a vehicle that's emissions related, like on a Ford 6.4, 6.7, a Dodge 6.7, or newer diesels or anything. That's video proof that I tampered with and deleted something on a truck that's on the highway, and I can be treated as the mechanic or shop and literally be fined $100,000.
Yeah.
And people that don't think it happens all the time. There's tons of YouTube videos out there with guys, and Brandon and I were talking about this one guy who bought a 2018 F-350 King Ranch. It's like an $80,000 truck. Took it to his mechanic, had it deleted, talked about it in the video. EPA shows up, seizes his truck, fines him $10,000, fines the mechanic or that shop $100,000, takes his truck, and then tells him that you can no longer ever use this truck on public roads again, ever. This truck can never be used. You can sell it, but whoever you sell it to is not allowed to put it on public streets. And it's like, yeah, that's who you're screwing with, is some entity that has that capability of just messing your whole life up. Now if you own a truck and you paid cash for it and you're willing to gamble that, by all means, gamble it, dude.
Yeah.
Most people that own those trucks, they don't have them paid off. They're all making a payment on them. Didn't
that one diesel show get in trouble for that a few years back?
Which one?
I think it was the Diesel Brothers.
I never watched your show.
I just saw a thing on Facebook that popped up that they got in trouble and had a huge fine.
If they were deleting or tampering with any kind of emissions deal, then yeah. And they were openly doing it. So I don't know what they're up to now. Like, I don't like reality shows like that. Like, I really appreciate the work, but I don't like all the drama behind it. American Choppers was kind of my climactic point of, like, I can't watch this stuff anymore.
Yeah, when the American Choppers first came out, that was like one of my favorite shows. But when all that drama got real bad, I couldn't watch it no more.
Yeah, that was my deal with it. It's so yeah, tampering with that stuff now is, like, I don't want any part of it. And the problem is, it's not just you. If you're a mechanic and you did your own personal truck, it's getting to the point where there's not going to be any more aftermarket suppliers domestically that provide any emissions deleting devices. So you're going to have to, like, mail order them from China, basically, and hope the quality is okay. And then tune it yourself. If you did all that on your own personal vehicle that you never told anybody about, then you're probably safe.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you're probably never going to get caught. You get caught, you're probably going to get a $10,000 fine, just to make sure that you can afford that, and you can afford to lose a truck. But on the grander scheme, like, if you're buying and selling trucks and you're doing a trade like the Diesel Brothers, if that's what they're doing, or anybody else, it's just a matter of time before they catch you. When they catch you, man, they're going to get their tax money.
Yep.
It's about collecting money above all else, and they're going to do it. So yeah, that was what we were talking about. The appeal to the Ford 7.3 and the 6.0s was they don't have very many emissions. The 7.3 doesn't have any emissions at all.
Yeah.
Other than a strainer in the exhaust. That's it. You can leave that thing on and still get a lot of power out of them. But past that, the 6.0s have the EGR system, which, if you have a properly working system, is a foolproof system. You just have to upgrade the engine. And then after that, good luck on a 6.4. Then a 6.7 has DEF. So if you want to stay EPA compliant, you've got to keep that DEF system on the truck.
I read debates on that whole EGR delete. Some guys say to, some guys say not to. I know they did it a lot at that diesel shop that I helped out at. They did a lot of EGR deletes on 6.0.
Yeah, so the entire problem with the Ford 6-liter started with the EGR cooler heating up the coolant to the point that they needed to use special coolant in the system. That's why the 6.0 at the time had abnormally high system pressure. It was like, I forget what the spec is, but it's like 16 or 8, I think 18 PSI or something like that, because the coolant got so hot. Because of that, the way that system was set up, and the caps being as faulty as they were, the caps failed all the freaking time, and people wouldn't test them, just keep reusing the same cap. The system pressure would drop, and the system would boil. And at the point in time it boils, you get all these deposits build up in the coolant system of that particular motor. Those particulates don't get filtered by anything at all in the coolant system because there is no stock, factory coolant filter.
Yeah.
It all gets plugged up in the oil cooler. Because it gets plugged up to the oil cooler, the oil heats up because it can't exchange heat at all, which heats up the engine and blows head gaskets because of it. Also, for whatever reason, International went from 6 bolts per cylinder. Basically, if you do 4 cylinders aside, it's a V8, and you look, every single cylinder has at least 6 bolts surrounding it. These 2 cylinders borrow these 2 bolts in it, but they have 6. And then in this Ford 60, they just deleted 2 of those on each cylinder. It only ended up, clacked my damn teeth together. So you ended up with 10 bolts a cylinder, or 12 bolt. I don't remember what it is. 4. Can't do math. Been drinking. So anyway, there's not enough clamping force around the cylinders. So that's what ended up causing it, believe it or not, was bad coolant, faulty radiator caps in most cases on that engine. So they get a lot of hate, but if people did the maintenance on them and kept the right coolant in them, they wouldn't have all the problems. But, still, if you took that engine completely apart, rebuilt it from the ground up, put a bunch of updated components in it and everything, studded the heads, O-ring the heads, and upgraded the EGR cooler, it'd be a foolproof really badass system. And the thing with the EGR, and people don't realize this, your EGR system only works when you're at part throttle acceleration running down the road. It does not function when you're flooring it. That function is disabled. So you're not gaining any horsepower, wide open throttle when your EGR system, if it's working effectively and not clogged up. It's not leaching EGR into the, anything. It's shut off at the time. So you can have a properly operating EGR system on a Ford 60 and still create a lot of horsepower is what I'm basically getting at.
Yeah, I remember those young guys, a lot of Army guys around here that has nothing better to do to spend their money on those trucks like that. Come in there, $10,000-$12,000 on a 60 engine, get it done.
Yeah, and the problem there is hardly anybody. I've never known anybody to spend their actual own money on that truck. It's always payments.
Yeah,
it's always borrowed money. Now they don't pay for it; they go in debt for that truck. And I've only known one person that's had a diesel truck like that bought it new, kept it, and still owns it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just one. Nobody's ever kept it. And you can tell yourself every single lie you want to about, I'm going to buy this truck, keep it forever. No, you're not. Most people, they'll go into debt to buy it, and 3 or 4 years, they want another truck. Whoever's asking about my service truck, I have a V10 gas motor in my service truck. Other than the fuel mileage is the only detractor from that engine. It gets far less fuel mileage than the 7.3 would. But every other thing, that engine's been bulletproof for me. Every other owner of a service truck that I've met, or a delivery service or anything with a V10 in it that has actually owned the truck, has told me that they've never experienced a catastrophic failure in a V10. It's never happened. For them, this is just word of mouth, people that I've met. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but generally they just don't fail. They're just awesome engines. They're just not very efficient.
Terrible gas mileage. My sister's boyfriend's parents bought a big RV, and instead of having a diesel engine in it, being a diesel pusher, it has a V10.
Oh yeah, it's like 5 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off. You are going to spend the money on the fuel, but if you really sit down and do the operational cost of a V10, a properly functioning, never failing V10 versus a properly functioning, never failing diesel counterpart, you'll see that the operational costs still normally far exceed the diesel predecessors to them. If people would just actually do the math, but everybody doesn't want to do the math. They just want to say in their head like, "Oh man, I can't deal with that kind of fuel mileage kind of deal," and but they don't actually calculate how many miles they actually drive their diesel pickup and if they're making a profit with the truck or not, or if it's just personal truck. To me, I get a lot of people calling or not calling, but sending messages and asking me about diesels and if they should have a diesel or not. Should I get this diesel? Should I get a V10? Should I get a diesel? Well, what are you using it for? If you're using a diesel for commercial capacity and able to make a profit, it's more profitable in that fuel mileage that it gets than the V10, then yeah, I say go for the diesel. But, all other cases, if money's the object, then yeah, go for the V10, comparable year models. But unless you just want a diesel, diesels are cool. You get more power out of them.
You should see the abuse that we've done to a 5.4. My grandma's ran that truck low on oil, and that thing just keeps going. It was a City of Waco truck first.
Yeah. That's the only thing that'll kill a V10. That's the only other owner that I've ever met, and people that I've known that have owned them said that killed theirs was simply not checking the oil. They do use oil.
Yep.
And they use about a half quart a month, of normal operation. And if you don't keep up with it, they will run until there's only a half quart left in the engine. Yeah, Craig Durbin, exactly right. You don't buy a work truck to worry about miles per gallon. I mean, it is a consideration, but normally it just becomes a trade-off that you have to deal with if you want to be in that industry. Budget Tools, mine's a 350, but it's a cab and chassis 350. Which doesn't mean that much has changed. It's just fuel system is a little different, frame's different from what I've been told. What do you drive, Brandon?
Nothing yet. Remember, I don't got a driver's license.
I remember giving you a hard time.
Yep, I need to. And I could drive anything out here and operate pretty much anything I get my hands on.
Yeah. Why don't you, what was the explanation of not getting your driver's license yet?
Never took the time. I live in a military town, and it's like 4 or 5 hours in DMV here.
You don't have to take your driver's test at that DMV, right? You can go to any DMV.
Yeah, I need to go to the one in Temple. The one in Coppers Cove, which is the next town over, they did away. The one on Fort Hood, we used to be able to go on Fort Hood. They took 3 of them, combined them into one, and that's why it's so packed.
Yeah, whenever I had to go in and register a vehicle or take a driving test or whatever, you don't have to take it in Texas. You don't have to take it in the county that you're living in. You can take it in any county. It doesn't matter. So I would always go 1 county, 2 counties away to the DMV, and there'd be one lady working in there, one guy working in there, and just walk in and hand them the paperwork. They tell you step on the line, and then that was it. That was all your wait.
Of course, my little bit of my phobia. And I'm sure as soon as I get on the road, I get over my phobia.
Yeah. Just a little bit at a time on that one.
Yeah. No long road trips. I'll save that Fort Worth trip for my sister's boyfriend and my sister.
You don't like road trips?
Huh? Oh, I just never, until I get used to it, I don't want to go on a long road trip. Drive on a long road trip. Of course, I'd rather be on I-35 than I-10.
I don't know, man. To me, I-35, it's an okay road, but it's not that pretty of a drive.
No.
It's just not. I mean, there's a couple of places, yeah, and I get it, but most of the time it's just a kind of a boring highway. And I-10 has, if you stay on it, I guess because it's longer, it's got some beautiful spots.
I think the boringness, there ain't much to see, is going the back way to Fort Worth through Gatesville and up.
Yeah.
There ain't much to see there.
That's always my preference, man. If I had the time, like when I was doing road calls and stuff, one, I had that service truck, that 7.3 with the crane.
Mm-hmm.
doing 70, 75 on the highway, man, that thing was just pushing it. It was screaming at like 3,000 RPM. So most of the time I'd take some farm road that had a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I loved it, man. I still love it. Little farm road instead of highways. You get to go through all the little backwoods towns and whatnot and see all the random crap for sale on the side of the road.
Well, there just ain't much to see through Event and Hamilton, and not that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Craig, Houston's worse than Dallas to me.
Houston is worse. I lived in Houston for 2 years.
I've been in Texas most of my life, and I've only been through Houston once. Well, I guess twice because I'm coming back, but
You ain't missing much.
yeah.
I mean, I met some fantastic people in Houston. There's some great people there. But as far as like the scenery and the places to visit, I don't think there's anything magical or special to anything that I went to when I lived there. Saw my first homicide in Houston. That was pretty cool. First week I was there.
Never seen a homicide, but I did clean up a dead man's mattress where he died on it, and found him a week later. So,
what'd y'all do with the mattress?
the realty company, not me, realty company had it put out on the curb. I don't think that's legal. I think that's actually supposed to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's pretty illegal.
But that was my buddy's contract, and he worked for that real estate company. So all was there was from some extra cash because I had the big horse at the time, which cost a lot of hay, which I recently got rid of him. So,
ugh. I mean, I'm gonna have to turn it off here pretty soon. I'm gonna talk to the old lady and go check on the parts ad and that washer and
okay.
get going. But I appreciate you having me on your live stream, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you came up. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no
First
problem.
time I had a big person on here, YouTuber on here.
Yeah, no big deal. I was out in the shop and I was checking YouTube earlier. I was thinking, it's like, man, where's your live stream at? You know what? I'm gonna stop working at that time. I'll come on your live stream, but I will come back sometime, man.
Hell, my live streams every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah. Well, cool, brother. I'm going to clock off of here. Obviously, you don't have to end your live stream because of me.
Well, I might, depending on if I get other people that wants to come up here. If I get other people that comes on here and I have someone to talk to, then I won't end it. But if not, I'll end it because it gets boring.
Well, cool, man. I'll holler at y'all later.
Later. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
Anybody want to join up here? I can put the link up here if anybody wants to join me. I'll put this link. If nobody wants to join me, I'll end it for the night. But if anybody wants to join me, I'll be glad to have y'all. Oh, did I show y'all my project that I'm working on? Those that don't have Instagram and ain't checking on my Instagram. This, where is it? I gotta switch cameras. Hold on. Right there. Wait, that camera is pointing totally. Later, Yoda. Oh, let me point the camera back in the right direction. Over here. Here we go. All this is going to be a Hot Wheels table for my nephew. I got to get a little bit more lumber. But I did the legs today. Cut the legs today. These are 24 inches. And then this plywood is actually left over from that trailer reflooring I did for that guy, if y'all remember that one. I try not to remember it sometimes. I really do. I think it's 3/4. I can't remember. It's somewhere in that. All right, I'm gonna go use the restroom. If anybody wants it on here, my link's on there. If y'all on here when I get back, I'll beam you up. So. Nobody in the basement. Oh, I still got the camera switched around. My bad. Wait, wrong camera still. All right, guys. I guess if nobody wants to join in on this live stream panel, I might call it a night too. Go watch some television or something. I don't know what I'll do. Probably watch television and eat more because I like to eat. Maybe you should build her own shop, Craig. If you can build her own shop, she don't have to steal your shop. So that's the way I look at that. A she shop. Same time every Saturday, Joe, 8 p.m. Central Time. Don't know who will be on next panel. I don't know if Neil wants to do a Tool Talk one next week. I'll see if Neil wants to do another Tool Talk next week. I don't know if he's busy. If he's not busy, then we'll do a Tool Talk one next weekend. Those seem to do good. Horse, horse, horse. It's okay. It's okay. I'll start next one. I'll start a new one maybe next week. You can join in. You know my favorite part of the shopping mall is, Horse? Is where the food is. That's what it is. While they go shopping, I go sit in the food court and stuff my face. Pretzels at those malls are pretty good. I have to give you that. I have to give you that. All right. I think I'm going to get off here, guys. It looks like my viewers has dropped down anyway, so let's get off here. End it tonight. I'll be back here 8 p.m. Central Time right here on BS Small Engines channel. Also be sure to check out my website, my Instagram, Facebook. Just check it all out. Links are in the description of this live stream, so check it all out. Anyway, see y'all later. If I hit